And this place is called Brazilian Barracão because most of the slaves taken from this place have been taken to Brazil. And Barracão is a Spanish word, which means dungeon, storehouse, or slave cell. It belongs to Siriki Williams Abass. And Siriki Williams Abass is this man in the senator.
Okay.
This is Siriki Williams Abass here. He was captured at the age of 6 in a town called Badagry in Lagos State. Then he was captured by Mr. Abass. Abass later told him to a white man called Williams. After Mr. Williams paid for this man, Mr. Williams took him to Brazil and he gave him education.
Mr. William was a white man?
Yes.
A British?
Yes. And Abass was a slave trader and that would be a black man.
Okay.
Then back then in Africa, we have our own currency that we spend. Like cowries, but the Europeans said they can't do business with our forefathers with that. So they bring in the idea of trade by barter. Now, if Europeans should give you one umbrella in exchange of 40 slaves, the big cannon gun go for 100 slaves, the small one go for 40 slaves, a bottle of gin or whiskey go for 10 slaves. The mirror and the bead, it depends on how you can bargain. This person can say 5, this person can say 10. Is the highest bidder that will get the mirror and the bead. Then this ceramic bowl go for 10 slaves. A den gun go for 40 slaves. And this brasses and the kettle were the gifts given to Siriki Williams Abass when he was to ban as the Siriki Muslimi of Badagry. So let's see the two cells that we have in this compound.
These things here are the things, just these common things are what were these are what was used to exchange for human beings, all in the name of slaves. Okay, so now you are going to show us the prisons that they had here.
Yes, we have total number of 40 rooms in this compound.
Okay.
In 2003, the federal government of Nigeria met with the family of Siriki Williams Abass that they should retain 2 cells the way it was back then. And these 2 doors have been here since 1840 when this compound was established.
It hasn't been changed.
No.
Wow. Solid. Let's check. Nice.
So let's see the 2 cells.
Okay.
So in this compound, we have total number of 40 rooms, and 40 slaves are being kept in each room. That will give us total number of 1,600 slaves are being moved in and out of this compound every 3 to 4 months. And in this first room, we have some of the items used in exchange of slave back then, like this umbrella used in exchange of 40 slaves. Then this is the
umbrella
same
was
umbrella
used in exchange for 40 slaves.
This is the same umbrella in this photo, and this is Siriki Williams Abass.
This is so painful.
So you want to try the weight of the umbrella?
Was it worth it? This room is another room for 40 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a chain in the first room in the show glass, and the one on the wall. This is what they use it for. Any slave that tries to run away or planning coup against the master. So this is what they do to them. They tie the chain around the ribs of the men. Then their hands at the back. They hang them on gallows. They suspend the leg from the ground.
Oh my God.
So they'll be dripping blood from the nose and the mouth. They'll be there dying gradually in the presence of other slaves. This is what they do to the women. If they catch two slaves having sexual intercourse or planning coup against the master, they tie the hands up. The blood from the hand from the head will come to the side. They get heavier and they'll be dying gradually. This man is called Toussaint Louverture. He's an Haitian general who doesn't see the black as sub the way other whites see the black. He's a white man also. He go to plantation, recruit slaves, go to another plantation, release more slaves. But later he was killed along with his 2 sons by the whites.
Okay, this was used in
This is what was produced now.
Ah, see the difference. Wow. See the difference. Okay.
So this used to be Siriki relaxation chair. So for someone to have this kind of chair back then, it shows how wealthy
he was. Yeah, as a
these
slave.
are his children.
And he was a slave. Oh. Okay.
So let's see other places in the compound. So this used to be Siriki Williams Abass court. This is where he passes judgment to the Muslims community and have meeting with any Oba that wants to have meeting with him along in India. And that used to be his chamber where he relaxed himself.
Can I go and see inside?
Free.
Yes.
All this room used to be like those two rooms, the inner room and the awaiting.
All this was for slaves.
Yes.
Oh.
40 rooms. Count all the rooms used to be like that. The inner room and the awaiting cell. The awaiting cell is where the European check slaves that they want to buy before they buy them. They check the dentition, they hit them in the stomach to know if they are fit, because their aim and objective is to go and work for them in the plantation where they are taking them to. But they'll keep them in there, 40 people, 3 to 4 months. How many minutes do we spend in that place? You can see how you are sweating. So let's imagine 40 people in that place for 3 to 4 months. That's why we do tell people that if you come to this place, we are not here to catch fun, but just to feel the pain the people in the past have felt. So this used to be the remains of the story building. This was Siriki. The story building in the photo.
This house here?
No, this one.
Oh, okay. This ground?
Yes.
Oh.
You can see, this was where the
Okay.
story building was standing. It
Yeah,
collapsed
yeah.
in the year 1995.
Oh. Just here. Siriki died 11 June 1919.
And this is where he was buried. But later the Brazilians came back to build this mausoleum on his graveyard.
That's to show that they have respect for him. Is that a good thing?
Yeah. They work for them. So this is where Siriki was buried. He died 11 June 1990. You want to go inside?
Yeah.
I should call him.
No. Okay, so this is where he was buried.
Yeah.
Siriki, who was a slave but then became the slave master.
Because we have two categories of slaves. We have the domestic and the field. Most of the domestic slaves were bred in Cuba, and most of them were male slaves. So they castrate them, they became huge and tall.
What? Ah, that's so sad.
So this is Siriki Williams Abass' last son, Saka Ajao Abass. He was at the age of 6 when his father died, and he died in 1987. He was 74 years when he died. So this is the last son of Siriki beside his father. So you are welcome to Brazilian Barracks.
And that is it for the tour. Thank you. Okay, so my hair is a bit rough, but we're heading to the next place now, which is Chief. Yes. So this is Chief Mobee Royal Family Original Slave Trade. Here you get to see some of the relics that was used for the slavery back then.
This is Mobee Family Slave Relics Museum, where we have the real chain, shackles, used on our forefathers during the period of slave trade. The chain we have inside this museum is over 500 years old, because slave trade lasted for about 350 to 400 years here in Badagry. And in Badagry we practice transatlantic slave trade. Transatlantic slave trade is a triangular trade, because the same ship that comes to Africa to pick slaves, we take the slaves to Europe, where they make them work in a plantation. And the harvested produce will be taken back to America. They transform it to finished goods. These finished goods will still be brought back to Africa for exchange of slaves. That's why they call it triangular slave trade. And so this is showing the map of how slaves were taken out of the country then. They take them down there, they make them work. Whatever they produce will be taken to Europe, transformed to finished goods, and they bring it back for exchange of slaves. During this period, families were usually separated. And then slaves were captured from the hinterland. Slaves were not being captured from Badagry. They captured them from the hinterland. And after capturing them from the hinterland, they marched them down to Badagry. In the course of moving them down, some of them died along the road, while some fell sick. Those that died, they allowed their body to get rotten by the side of the road, while those that fell sick, they used them as sacrifice to their god during the period. So then a market was established for this trade in Badagry in the year 1502. And during this period, over 300 slaves were sold in the market every market days, and it's every 9 days. Over 17,000 slaves have been laid out of Badagry every year. And these are the advertised slaves on newspaper then. Buildings like this were built along the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, where they store slave. And from the
example Ghana.
Yeah, example Ghana. They saw slaves inside this building, and from there they take them to a place we call the point of no return now. So at the point of no return, they were meant to walk some kilometers.
Which is also in
Ghana. We also have it here in Badagry.
Badagry.
So in the course of making the walking, there's a well along the road that they force them to drink from. After drinking from the well, they become less aggressive, they lose their memory. And from there, they put them inside the ship. From the ship, they take them out of the country to countries like Brazil, Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, and so on and so forth. Whenever there is storm on the water, they release some of the slaves to die inside the Atlantic Ocean. And behind you is the grave of the man who stopped the trade in Badagry. His name is Mobee. The father of the man buried there was a middleman between the white and the black. So he would always buy slaves from his fellow black, resell to the white man. The man was nicknamed Mobee by the white people because whenever they come around, he always offer them kola nut. He tells them Yoruba language, Mobee, meaning people are not eat. So the white people gave him a nickname, Chief Mobee. And so the family gave him the nickname Mobee. And today, the son and the family are still bearing that name up to date. But the son of Chief Mobee waged war against the white people in the year 1888. Since the last vessel in Badagry, and they stayed inside the vessel. These are the real chains around their neck. This is called the neck lock. And this is what the slaves are meant to carry to work inside the farm for 18 hours every day. While traveling, this will be around them for 3 to 4 months before they get to their final destination. So they were meant to carry this chain. This is about 10 to 15 kg. They were meant to carry this chain to work inside the farm for 18 hours every day. And this is used on slaves who refuse to work inside the farm, or slaves who refuse order made by the white men. They force this into their hand down to the wrist. Most times they have to break the bone before this could get to the wrist of the slaves. After forcing this to the wrist of the slave, they made it climb a platform. Then they screwed this to a tall tree and removed the platform, and the slave will be suspended on the tree, lingering from morning till night. And this is used on the mouths of the slaves for them not to talk to one another or eat while working on the farm. They pierce their mouths. Whenever they are going to the farm in the morning, they put this on their lips and padlock their mouths. Why this is used on the hands of the small children? For children not to move closer to their parents while working on the field. They group them to one side of the farm and they change their race with this. Make them sit under a tree far away from where their parents are working. And this is called the branding carrier. Slaves don't bear name during the period of slave trade. They bear the name of their master or any name given to them by the white people. So for the white people to be able to identify their slaves, they usually put this in fire. When this is red hot, they use this to write the name on the body of the slaves. And this is what we have adopted as fashion today. We call it tattoo. The second function of this is to pierce the mouth of the slaves, while the last function of this is to pierce the foot of any slave who tried to run away being captured. And this is called the handful lock, used on the leg of 2 slaves at a time. For them not to run away, 2 of them you have to share this around their ankle. And they have to walk with this around their leg at the same time. So this was the money we spent in Africa in those cowries. But the white people doesn't recognize this as money. And that led to the introduction of trade by barter. Items like gunpowder, dry gin, cotton, iron, mirror, tobacco were used in exchange of slaves. This size of the bottle of the dry gin then was in exchange of 10 human beings. Mirror for 10, umbrella for 40. This size of the cannon gun for 40, the big size of this for 100. And over there is slave drinking water bowl. 40 to 50 slaves are meant to draw water from that pot at a time. And they drink water from the pot with their hand being tied to the back. They bend down and lip water like that. In the course of lipping, they get caught by the edge of the pot and the blood drips into the water. They will have to drink the water like that because they have access to food and water once in a day. And here's the picture of the spirit at a nation where the slaves were forced to drink from. This well is at the point of no return till date. They force them to drink from this well. After drinking from the well, they become less aggressive and they lose their memory. And the well is still at the point of no return up till date. You are welcome to Badagry.
Thank you very
Any
much.
question?
A quick question about this well.
Yeah.
Do you think something was put inside the well to make those people like
Yes.
back then to behave that way?
Yes, Africa concussion was added to the well to weaken the power of the slave taken out of Africa then. So, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.